Stories that matter. If you want to hear more of these stories, go over to ordinarypeople.tv/join today. Stories that matter. If you want to hear more of these stories, go over to ordinarypeople.tv/join today.
Hello, and welcome to my show, the first one, and my show is called Lesley's Angel Spirit. And the reason for me calling it that is because everyone says you're an angel, or they tell me you're an earth angel, or they ask me, are you an angel? Because I've always helped everyone in spite of everything. I've always helped others throughout my life. And for those of you that don't know me, my name's Lesley Ann Cherry, and I'm an influencer, an entrepreneur, and a life difference leader for Team Diamond Global Network, and recently appointed as a brand ambassador for this amazing platform, Ordinary People TV, which gives ordinary people like myself a platform to tell our stories and hopefully inspire others. So those that don't know my story are probably thinking, okay, so she's doing okay. She seems happy with her achievements, but I'm not sure what's so inspiring about that. Well, that is where I am now. And to understand what's so inspiring about where I am now, I need to take you back in time in my life. Back in time to 1970, when I was age 4, when it was safe to play outside. And the parents used to say, be in as soon as the street lamps come on. It's safe to play out, but as soon as those street lamps come on, you're getting inside. Well, unfortunately, it wasn't safe for me. You see, I was on my way home. The street lamps had come on. I knew it was time to go home. And I was grabbed by 2 sisters and a brother. And the 2 sisters pinned me down. The brother sat on top of me and he started to undo his trousers. And I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I was frozen with fear. I didn't know what was going to happen, why it was happening. And then I heard a voice. What's going on? Get off her. I was released then, and I watched as the 3 ran off, and an older girl came down. I was still frozen. She grabbed hold of my hand and helped me to my feet. She gave me a hug and she said, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right now. I'm going to take you home. I was still shaking when I got home. The back garden became my playground after that. I wasn't allowed to venture out of the back garden. And to be honest, I didn't want to. Then when I was 14, I was grabbed again on the way home, but this time by a 33-year-old man, a neighbour of my mum's. I tried to get away, but he was too strong, and unfortunately ended in rape. I remember lying there thinking, just be quiet, just keep still, don't scream, don't struggle, and maybe you will get out of this alive. I was terrified, but I just let him do whatever he needed to do and hoped and prayed that he let me go. I guess I was lucky because he did let me go, and I returned home and I went directly to the shower. I scrubbed myself over and over and over, trying to get clean. But no matter how much I scrubbed, I felt dirty, used, disgusted in myself. Why disgusted in myself? Because I remembered the incident when I was 4. And between this and the rape at 14, I was bullied through school. primary to the age of 14. There were two scenarios. One older girl, much older, not short from going to secondary school, used to take me into the toilets and touch me inappropriately, and then take my hand and manipulate it to pleasure herself, and then throw me out and tell me, if I tell anyone, next time I'll hurt you. The other scenario was a girl in the same class, and that was the traditional bullying, punching, biting, kicking. And she kept me quiet because she said, if you tell, you will get in trouble, because my dad's a policeman and he'll believe me and he'll stand up for me, and the head teacher will believe my dad, so you'll get in trouble. So tell if you want, I don't care. I never told anybody, not one soul, about any of these incidents I've just told you about. You see, I thought everything was my fault because it happened to me. It must be something about me. It's taken a lot of work and a lot of healing for me to get over this. And to be honest, I've still got some healing to do with that inner child. And it doesn't end there. You see, age 18, I fell in love and I got engaged. And we moved into our own place just before Christmas, and everything was great. And then it started. It was as if that ring had made him feel he owned me in some way. And if I didn't cook a meal just how he liked it, or I didn't have the home just how he liked it, domestic violence. From that, I went into another relationship, and that was fine, because I was of the mind, not all men are the same. See, I have a good heart, and I believe other people have a good heart, and I was just unlucky. I knew there were some good ones out there, it's just I wasn't finding them. But this one seemed good, and everything was fine until his dad died and left him the business that he'd built over the years. He tried his best to run that business, but it folded, and he couldn't forgive himself, and he turned to drink, and then he turned on me again. Domestic violence. I left it a few years then before I got in another relationship, which was with my husband. We were together 5 years before we got married, and then only married 3 months, and I fell pregnant. But life was good. I wanted for nothing. He built a successful business. He'd got properties that he rented out. So, yes, I had a successful husband, 3 beautiful children, a 4-bedroom detached home, top of the range cars leased for me over the years, Land Rover Discovery, Jaguar, Kia Sportage, designer clothes, accessories, shoes, hair and nails done whenever I want. Pretty perfect, right? Everybody thought that, but the last 8 years of the 14-year marriage, it wasn't so perfect. In fact, I felt unloved, alone, definitely not desirable. I'd lost my identity, and I felt so alone, even with 3 children and my husband there. You see, the last 8 years he'd fallen out of love with me, and he'd been messaging inappropriately. And when I found out who it was somebody I classed as a best friend at the time, or one of them. Double betrayal, right? So the bottom of my world fell out, but I decided to carry on, and I stayed in the relationship. I carried on as a wife, doing the school run, cooking, cleaning, washing. Everything is normal, apart from we didn't sleep together. I slept on the sofa. We did it for the kids, and it was all amicable. and we were both all right with it until his new girlfriend, the one he's with now, you see, she said, it's not normal. What person do you know has their ex-wife staying on the sofa and treating them like a wife still when they've got a girlfriend? So basically she was saying it's me or her. Well, I ended up homeless. And then it was the clean break order. Took residence of the children and told the social services that I no longer had the kids, so my only form of income, child allowance, was stopped. So I ended up homeless. I was broke and broken. This was 7 years ago. Can you imagine just how alone and terrified I was? I was a stay-at-home mum and wife, not streetwise by any stretch of the imagination. Gone from riches to rags, I guess you'd say. But through no fault of my own. Well, I didn't think that. I blame myself. I'd put weight on. I wasn't beautiful. I wasn't attractive. I wasn't sexy. I wasn't fun anymore. I was depressed. I know for sure some of you can resonate with some of my story. Probably not all of it, but at least some parts of it. And you remember the pain. Yet many of us, including me, although I'm improving a lot now, continue this abuse with bullying. So you see, we all say we dislike bullies, but the very thing we dislike, we do to ourselves throughout with self-talk. And I know you know what I mean. You're continuing that bullying too, believing the labels that were stuck on you and living by them. Sound familiar? You can't do everything. You can't do anything right. Why would anyone love you? You're not enough. That's why they don't stay. Yeah, they tell you they'll stay. They tell you they'll love you forever till the day they die. But then they're gone with somebody else and it's your fault because you're not lovable. You're not worthy. You're ugly. You're fat. You're undesirable. You're not sexy. If you was more beautiful and sexy and funny, then maybe they'd stay. No need to go on. You know your own talk. We're our own worst critic. But in reality, it wasn't your fault. None of it. You're continuing this. You're continuing to bully the one that was not only going through all that with you, but the one that got you through. You. You know the pain, yet you bully the one that got you through it. The one that truthfully deserves unconditional love and respect, don't you think? Help others. Your stories only ever meant to mould you into a stronger, wiser you, not to replay over and over again and punish yourself with. Not a life sentence. They now belong to others. They are the tools to help you, give them hope and inspiration, motivation, maybe even their salvation. I made a decision, and it wasn't easy, but I decided to tell my story to help others. We all have a story. Some of you have also told your stories, and I know it's not only healing for the audience who feel almost a sense of relief on realising they're not alone, that hearing your story is healing for them, but it's also healing for you too. Maybe my story has inspired and motivated or given courage for some of you to step forward and tell your stories, and we now have a wonderful platform to do just that. You can do for others as I've hopefully done for you. Find your voice. Begin your healing journey, not only for yourself but for others. I can hear you, but I'm just me. Why could my story help anybody else? I've just shown you. have I not? Hush that bullying self-talk. This is your chance to step up and take action and to help others through their suffering. Whether you realise it or not, your story is needed. People are wanting your story. They're waiting for your story. That only you can deliver the way they need to hear it. So, see where I am now? Now you know my struggle and my pain to get here. Now those of you that didn't know me, now you feel you know me better. Maybe even a bond, right? Such is the power of the story, our stories. Why not reach out and we'll have a chat? And maybe, just maybe, thanks to my story, next time you walk past someone that's homeless, get them a hot drink, give them your loose change. Remember my story. Or, if you've been there yourself, how it felt. See, I'm not an alcoholic or a junkie. I wasn't a lazy good-for-nothing that just needed to get off the backside and get a job. And I know that's what people think when they walk past homeless people, because I've been there and I've felt it. You see, we can't just get off our backside and get a job because we're uninsurable and no one will take us on. How did I get out of it? Well, my community and friends helped me, and then I met Sean, and he helped me get back on my feet by taking me into his home. The fixed abode allowed me to get work. And then after 4.5 years, something happened with work, and I ended up coming online to sell weight loss coffee, of all things. But it was the inspirational, motivational quotes I used to always put on Facebook that got my audience building and my followers building. And I decided that that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help people. And then here I am. And it happened fast. 2 months to be exact. From first telling my story to where I am now. What's your story? I'd love to hear it. And to close my first show, I'd like you all to remember, pain, it's inevitable, but suffering is optional. You can choose to wallow in your pain or stand up and take action. Which will you choose? If you like daily motivation and inspiration, follow me on Facebook, Lesley and Sherry, and subscribe to this amazing platform to view more amazing stories and shows by ordinary people like me, or maybe tell your own. Just as I made the decision to stand up and say, how can I help humanity? Thank you. Love and abundance to you all, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Stories that matter. If you want to hear more of these stories, go over to ordinarypeople.tv/join today.